So, grief is weird, right? It's not just sadness, it's this whole messy tangles of love, this warmth, this regret, and there's this heartbreak, all mushed in together to make one feeling, I guess. So, my grandmother, my mama, recently passed away, and honestly, it's been one of the strangest things I've ever sat with. So this is 1 minute I'm replaying old memories and almost feel like I'm feeling the warmth of her, and the next I'm thinking about all the moments we're never going to get now. It's like being stuck in a hallway, not quite in the past and not quite in the future, just somewhere hovering in between. Honestly, part of me just feel numb, pretending that everything was fine, that life goes on. Because, put it this way, nobody really teaches us how to navigate this stuff. So one day I'm waiting for a work meeting to get started. I end up in a conversation with a totally complete stranger that I did not expect to remember. This person told me about this tradition that they do every April. That person picked one person they loved, admire, or deeply care about, someone who are no longer here, and they dedicate the time to them. So what that person told me is that they would sit with the person's memory, ask what that person's life is still trying to teach them, and then actually trying to live those lessons. Something about that just hit me differently at that time. It feels like giving grief a job to do instead of just letting it circles the same thoughts over and over again. So this April, I choose my grandma. So if you ask most people who knew her, they would probably say she was a very quiet person, very shy, and the kind of person who would blend into the background at family gathering with a soft smile. But if there was an event, everyone knew to find her for one thing. It was her special sauce. This special sauce of hers is ridiculously good. People will request that sauce like a family heirloom. So to most people, she looked like a gentle, orderly grandma, your typical grandma, but with a very small footprint in the room. But that's not the whole story, and it really is. Before she was the quiet woman at the edge of the gatherings, my grandma had lived. She was part of a national women basketball champion team, which already cooler than most of us will ever be, especially me. She was a Girl Scout, the kind of person who learned early on how to fix things, build things from scratch. She left her small village to study in another city, a genuinely bold move for a woman of her generation and background. She travels on business trip with my grandpa, spoke fluent French and Khmer, just holding multiple language. She loved something I remember. She loved reading French magazines and was so into wellness thingy. So yes, you could call her just a quiet grandma, but you'll be skipping over the athlete, the student, the travelers, the multilingual woman who quietly live life before she's being a grandma. So here's one thing. Being around her taught me things that doesn't sound profound at that time at all, but it sort of feels essential now. She loved quality time in small doses, like one-on-one conversations, intimate little circles where everyone could chit chat, no one shouting over another. Well, I would say she was a soft presence beside you, fully there and fully listening. We didn't always see eye to eye, honestly. Different opinions, different perspective. Yet she always made space for that. She never made me feel like I had to be anyone other than exactly who I was. There was something so quietly rare about that. Around her, I just feel like I am being accepted. She was also totally comfortable in her own company. That's the things I love about her. She could spend hours and hours reading, listening to music or radio, letting other people's stories fill the quiet. Oh, and I forget this. She used to quietly dance to herself whenever one of her favorite songs came on. Just her alone in her room, fully in it, no audience, just dancing herself around. No need to be seen, just this steady, quiet loyalty to the things that she loved. She's fine doing things all by herself. Here's the thing though, and this is the part that really got me. A lot of what I just told you, most of my family had no idea about it until her funeral. My parents didn't know, my cousin, my younger siblings, they were genuinely shocked seeing photos of her that they've never seen before. The basketball team, the travels, this bold younger woman. So I only knew this because I used to sleep over at her place when I come and visit her and beg her for bedtime stories. And she would tell me those Khmer folklore, those Cambodian tales, and little secrets here and there about her adventure. Those stories live mostly in me and the box of photos that we found after the funeral events. And that's the part that keep nudging me awake. For all the beauty in her quietness, they are part of a story that I don't want to repeat. Truths she never fully said. The version of herself the world never got to meet. The chapters she kept tucked away like photo in a box. And that's what I don't want for myself. And maybe if you're being honest with yourself, it's what you don't want either. Because here's where they stop being about my grandma and start being about you and me. Because there's probably someone in your life who lives smaller on the outside than on the inside. Someone who had the entire world of courage, talent, or desire never quite made it into the light. Take a second and think of that person. Miss, admire, quietly wish the world had celebrated more of them. Now ask yourself, what would it mean to honor them? So for me, honoring my grandma looked like this. So first is saying the things out loud instead of going quiet when something actually matters. Second, sharing more of what I love, even it feels a bit awkward and that's too much, which is what I'm doing right now. And third is being brave enough to show up who I actually am, not just who is the easiest for everyone else to handle. Guilty of that. So that's the three things. So, well, in a way, grief showed me is that waiting until you're fully ready is a luxury we don't really have. The life you want doesn't start later. It's quietly happening right now, with or without you in it. Well, losing her is sad, full stop. And I'm not going to wrap that in a bow and pretend grief has some clean lesson at the end. Someday it's gonna be hurt or sad, and that's okay. But here's what I want to keep coming back. The more I sit with her memory, the more I realize she wasn't just a chapter that closed. She's more like a mirror. I see all the ways I'm doing the thing she did. Keeping the good stuff quiet, waiting for the right moment, tucking the most alive parts of myself away for some time. And later is the lie we all tell ourselves, isn't it? So I'm not here to tell you to go live your best life or whatever. I'm just asking genuinely, what is the thing you keep putting off? The conversation you haven't had, the project you haven't started, the version of yourself keep saving for when you feel I'm more ready. My grandma had a whole life worth celebrating, yet she never quite got around to let people see it. I don't want that for me, and I really don't want that for you either. We already have enough to begin, so start now, start as you are.